Greetings and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about the one thing that might have the biggest impact on your savings. This is going to be a short video because the answer is pretty simple. And after a lot of research I did, I kept running into Kristen Berman. And for example, on the Afford Anything podcast with Paula Pant, from the transcript or from the description, one of the bullet points here was, it's better to make a one-time decision that will automate your behavior. So automate your savings. This takes emotion out of it and forces you to save. One of the best things you can do for your savings is take emotion out of it. Because if you're trying to invest and trade based on emotions, like right now the market is not doing well. It's down pretty significantly from the top. A lot of people are fearful and they might be selling because of that fear. However, with automated savings, now what you're doing is you're actually buying as the price goes down. So you're dollar cost averaging these lower prices. And when it does recover, dollar cost averaging into the market by automating your savings has the best chance of producing the results you're looking for. I used to think that learning might change behavior on savings, just learning about finance and learning how much, compounding interest works for you. And I used to think that all of those things would have a big impact on a person's savings rate or their desire to actually save and invest. But it turns out that that's not usually the case. For me, it was. I read some books and determined that, hey, I could either, I could retire early or retire very comfortably if I just followed some steps and allowed compound interest to work for me. But over time, I kind of realized that even through the Navy, when I would teach people about personal finance as a command financial specialist, generally, the only people that really increased their savings were the ones that decided to start using the thrift savings plan, which is kind of like a 401k, or they'd even open an IRA and automate the savings. But that was the biggest impact, was if they automated their savings. Going back to Kristen Berman, she basically says that teaching has next to 0% impact on behavior. And I think there have been multiple studies done where they found that just learning about something doesn't necessarily make you change the behavior. Like knowing that cigarettes are bad for you doesn't change your behavior generally. Very few people will stop smoking just because they know they've learned that it's bad for their health. So why does automatic savings work? And for me, the bottom line is that people are not likely to go through the effort of canceling automatic investments. And that's why the article that I'm looking at here is kind of important, because more and more companies are auto-enrolling employees in their 401ks. And part of the article, one of the quotes from the article, in other research, Vanguard Investments found that 9 in 10 automatically enrolled new hires remained in their employer's plan after 3 years, based on Vanguard record-keeping data through June 2020. So if you automatically enroll somebody in a 401k, and usually this will include matching, so maybe you auto-enroll for 1% and you match 1%. Yes, that's not much, but it's an auto-enrollment. Generally, people are not going to cancel that. Now, it's a different issue probably, and I didn't look this up, but I'm sure it's a different issue when you get into how many people decided to, when they change jobs, to just cash out their 401k, which is a mistake, because not only are you going to have to pay taxes on whatever you cash out, there may be vesting times, and well, that won't matter if you leave anyway, but you might lose out on multiple levels of money if you cash it out. So keeping it until you retire is ideal. And the bottom line on this is that the one-time decision to enroll or be enrolled in automatic savings is the most effective way to get people to save for their futures. I hope you enjoyed this short video. If you have comments about, your individual journey into automatic investing, or if you haven't started yet and you plan on it, make sure you take that first step, because that first step will be the most important, and you're more likely to stick with it. Obviously, you set it and forget it, and you figure out how much you can put in there each month. I've already set my kids up on this path, and they haven't even thought about trying to undo their automatic investments yet. So fortunately, they're not big spenders, so that helps. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. And if you're going to retire, retire to something.